Okay friends, to get started on our throttle body, we're going to have to first remove our air intake system. Loosen your clamps. Let's grab onto this. Separate it there. Grab onto this. Let's get this right out of the way. Now that that's out of the way, let's continue on by grabbing this green tab. I'm going to pull it and then slide this right off and out. The next thing we're going to want to do is remove this bolt right here. Set that aside. Grab some pliers, come right up here, give this a squeeze, and then remove this. At this point, we're going to continue on by removing our last 3 mounting bolts that hold this on. 2 on the passenger side and 1 finally on the driver's. Go ahead and grab onto this, get it out of the way. Now let's continue on to removing this connector right here. Just take a nice small screwdriver and lift up on this red locking tab. Once it's up, you're going to press on the center tab right here and then relieve this. Take a peek, make sure you don't see any funny colors. Set that aside. Now there is another electrical connector on this located on the driver's side. It's a little bit harder to get to, so what we're going to do is we're going to dismount this from the actual engine, and then we'll flip it over so we can get to it. Get this out of the way. Your 2 other bolts are going to be located right here and right here. Our 2 bolts. Now we're just going to carefully lift up on this and then of course cover that hole so no debris can fall inside. At this point we can see the other connector. You need to remember what to do with that red tab. Slide it out of the way, push on this center aspect, and then slide this off. There it is, friends. Before we can get ready for our install, let's continue on by applying a thin coat of dielectric grease to each of our connectors. Set this aside. At this point, we're going to lift up our rag. Be very careful not to drop anything inside there. It's always a great idea to make sure that you go ahead and replace this gasket right here. If you don't have access to one, just go ahead and clean it down the best you can. Make sure it's not damaged in any way. And then apply a thin amount of oil to it. Just a tiny bit of engine oil will do. There we are. All right, now it's going to be time to install our brand new throttle body. We want to make sure we hook in our driver's side connector real quick before we attach this. Listen for the click, and of course, make sure you lock it in. That's perfect. Now we're just going to set this right along top here. We'll start in both of those rearward bolts, and then of course we'll put the bracket on with the forward bolts as well. Okay, now let's quickly bottom these out and then we'll torque them to manufacturer specifications. To torque this, we want to go in 2 stages. You want to go around and torque each bolt to 80 inch-pounds. After you've done all that, go around one more time and just give them an extra quarter turn or an extra 90 degrees. That was good for our first pass. Now for the second stage, let's go ahead and put this back on. I'm going to start approximately right here and then turn them that 90 degrees. There we are. Do the same to all. Let's get this connector back in here. Okay, lock it down. Just double check to make sure that you didn't drop anything into this area here. If something fell in, make sure you get it out. You don't want to get it sucked up into the engine. Now let's continue with the rest of the install. Let's go ahead and put this back on there now. Just going to slide this over the throttle body. Give it a loving bonk, get it settled down on there. Start in 3 of your bolts, 2 on the passenger side and the rearward one on the driver's side. Now let's torque these to 89 inch-pounds. Now let's get this piece reattached. Make sure you squeeze on that clamp ahead of time. Just gonna slide this right on there. Line up our bolt hole down here. Make sure the clamp's situated perfectly and it's not off on a kilter. This looks good. Torque this to 89 inch-pounds as well. Now we're going to reconnect in this right here. Slide it right on there. Listen for a click. Give it a tug. That looks good. Now it's going to be time to get this reinstalled on here. Slide that right on. I'm going to do the same to this side over here. Line up my arrows. Make sure this is completely bottomed out and snug it up. This looks good. Double check all of your work, then start up the truck. Make sure you don't have a check engine light.